No one was psychologically ready for this. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to be silent, shut up. We invest in the future development of a man. This peroxide and bandage seemed to me to be the first thing that should be. These are the very projects. The mass killing of the Ukrainian civilian population in Bucha, Kyiv region, which was accompanied by kidnapping, tortures, rape and looting, will forever remain in the memory of Ukrainians and the whole world. Due to the bloody crimes of the Russian Federation, the residents of the region who were lucky enough to survive suffered serious mental and psychological injuries. In order to help their fellow citizens, Dia Business Center in Bucha, with the support of the charitable organization ADRA Ukraine, launched the Yedina Zhytya social project. No one was psychologically ready for this, and even when the occupation ended, even when it seemed that everything was fine, in fact, a person still needs to talk to a specialist in order to ensure a stable emotional state for the future and know how to protect himself/herself from these emotions. Thanks to the support of Advances Development and Relief Agency in Ukraine and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark, it became possible to provide free psychological support to almost 100 residents of the region. There are psychological support projects that are provided by international funds, and this is good because some barrier of shyness is being removed from us concerning consultations with a psychologist. If you are completely under stress and problems, then you will never get out of this trap. Therefore, it is very important. ADRA International was founded in 1956 as a branch of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and has consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council, carries out its activities in more than 130 countries of the world. The main task of the organization is to support people in need and the most vulnerable categories of the population, improving their lives as well as helping them overcome difficult life situations. By primarily solving psychological problems, mental disorders, we help a person become more stable, more integrated into society, because if a person understands what his problem is, how it can be solved, how he can return to a normal life, then we invest in the future development of a man. Yedina Zhytya project lasted 2 months and included both group and individual consultations for teenagers and adults in online and offline formats. Mrs. Oksana and her family evacuated from Bucha on March 12 when the settlement was already under occupation. The woman says that she decided to join the project in order to find answers to the questions of where and how to move forward. Everything seemed to be fine. You are alive, you are in free territory. Everything is there, and it seems as if there is no ground under your feet. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to be silent, shut up and live. I didn't have strength to let it go. I didn't have strength to overcome it. Thanks to a course of group therapy with a psychologist, Oksana was able to open up and find answers to her questions and also began to change herself and her life for the better. I started to move differently. I started to adjust my weight. I had rounded shoulders. I felt that I was already being pulled down. I'm standing straighter now. I understand that it is far from ideal, but I'm glad about it. I know who I was and who I am now. It's easier for me to go through life now. A group of 8 experienced psychologists had a goal to help residents of Bucha region regain greater faith in themselves and their future. After all, given the history of the city, it was simply necessary for its residents. Prior to this, a certain analysis of the audience was carried out. We did not know what requests were. These were stresses, panic attacks, huge traumas that people could not survive, and therefore, I understand that this project was very relevant. According to the psychologist, despite the fact that this project lasted only 2 months, it turned out to be more than enough to lay a strong psychological foundation for clients. It seems to me that we need as many such projects as possible, and now I, my team, partners, dear business Bucha, ADRA, I hope that we all will continue and work in other regions. I really want such projects to be implemented. Every family should have peroxide and a bandage in the house. This is the minimum and also a lot of everything necessary. This peroxide and bandage seem to me to be the first things that should be. These are the very projects. Nazar Grigorenko, Dmitro Markevich and Alexander Kravchuk from Bucha that continues recovering rapidly after the occupation.